Hey, it's Tony Brueski, and this is our week in review over the weekend, taking a look back at some of the most compelling conversations and stories that we've covered for you of the last week. Brand new episodes back Monday morning, bright and early, 5 a.m. here on the podcast.
This is an examination of the hidden human condition.
This is the Hidden Killers Podcast.
The Hidden Killers Podcast.
With Tony Brueski.
I believe the phrase is grasping at straws. Talking about the defense of Bryan Kohberger. Notably seeing him in a spiffy black suit in court last week. And a lot of attacks on media and anything and everything. Except presenting a valid alibi as to where he was the night of those murders. But hey, stop picking on him. It's influencing people. You know, like how society works. Joining me is retired FBI special agent and chief of the Counterintelligence Behavioral Analysis Program, Robin Dreeke. What has been your take on observing the Kohberger circus of the last couple of weeks?
You know, my guess, again, defense attorneys are so much better at this than I am, I think,
Sure.
on these things. My guess is, especially with them filing to try to get the alibi defense thing going as well, I think he's working pretty closely with his defense attorney to sow seeds of doubt.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can really fathom at this point. Is there's so much overwhelming discovery going on because of all the incredible amount of evidence. I think that all they're doing at this point, if I was guessing, which I obviously am, is sowing seeds of doubt. And I think anytime you're trying to present a different image of him than one that's been presented in the past, that's going to sow seeds of doubt. And if he's been portrayed as this OCD psychopath, which he has been, and even though the jurists shouldn't have seen any of this stuff, obviously I think it's hard not to with such a big trial. Mm-hmm. They're going to try to sow a seeds of doubt and a dichotomy of what we thought we saw prior to these four horrendous murders, as well as what we're seeing after. So that's behaviorally, that's probably what I would be going for.
It's been interesting to me, the arguments and them hiring an expert witness to dissect the media coverage on Kohberger, and breaking down who has this influence on him and where, or not on him, but on the coverage and on people's thoughts and this and that. My reaction to it is really, what's your point? It's like you're going to be covered no matter what. There's coverage that's going to be good and bad, and he has both. It's just, you know, the sane end of it seems to be looking pretty dark for him. It's when you go off the deep end with some of these very bizarre theories that some YouTubers have where it gets kind of crazy. But that actually works in his favor because it almost exonerates him in some of their theories. I don't really quite grasp why an expert witness was paid to take a look at basically Casey's top 40 of who talks the most about Kohberger.
Yeah, it's really fascinating. And I just keep going. I get locked on my train of thought sometimes. Yeah. And on that one, I'm still kind of locked into this seeds of doubt because there's so much evidence on him. It's almost, I mean, I wouldn't put it in the same realm as a Lori Daybell trial, Vallow, but there's such overwhelming amount of evidence, I think, against him on this one, that it's anything they can do to start poking some holes in it. And again, if it's going to a jury, which it will, you want to sow seeds of doubt in the jury. So it's not conclusive in the jurist's mind. So we'll see how it works out.
Yeah, that is kind of what I was wondering, if that is what's going on. Try and sow some more seeds of doubt in the public, whether or not it's unfounded or not. If you can just put out there, oh, this person's being really picked on, this person's being really villainized, and say, you know, for no reason or without solid evidence. A lot of people aren't paying as close attention to any of this as we are. But if the average person gets that in their mind of, oh, maybe they are being unfairly judged, that will be their belief until they know otherwise.
Yeah, and I'm also not immune to the fact that every time you're dealing with a defense attorney, I always think part of what they're doing, I think they live in a 50-50 world. Mm-hmm. Again, I haven't been one, so I don't know. I know a few, and if you're in any profession, you're always looking at what you're dealing with now, and you're always looking ahead to what you're going to deal with tomorrow. And if you're going to live in a world that your reputation is based on what you're doing in the now, and that reputation is going to get you work tomorrow, you always want to show your future potential clients what you're capable of doing with such an overwhelming case. And so I think half of what they're probably doing on his defense part is not just for Kohberger himself, but also for their future.
That does make a lot of sense. One more thing on Kohberger, I want to get your take on the images that we've seen of him attending a lecture by Margaret Atwood, author of A Handmaid's Tale. And for those who don't know, A Handmaid's Tale, it's a book about a dystopian world where women's rights have been severely curtailed. Obviously, we know some things about Kohberger from reports and allegations of him not being so good with female relationships. Is this anything, or is this just kind of another piece of the tale and another breadcrumb that really just kind of shows us, or confirms rather, what we already seem to have learned about his personality and possibly his views on that sort of a subject?
Yeah, it's showing a curiosity in an area that fits that arc that we keep talking about with Kohberger. He's got an arc of behavior, of curiosity in certain things in life, and that fits that arc, no doubt.
This is the Hidden Killers Podcast.
Want more? Start binging on all of our true crime podcasts right now through Apple Podcasts, and get an ad-free experience when you sign up to be a True Crime Today Premium Plus member, exclusively on Apple Podcasts.
More of the Hidden Killers Podcast, dropping soon.
Press subscribe now.